Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name's Antonio. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. And you already know by the title of the video, I got some Mizuno cleats. You guys have been asking me, get the Mizunos, get the Mizunos. I want to hear your opinion about the Mizunos. And I'll definitely get a pair of Crazy Lights at some point, but the Mizunos are expensive, guys. And I'm not sponsored by Adidas, I'm not sponsored by Nike, not sponsored by Mizuno. So it takes time to save money for these cleats, guys. So thank you so much for anybody who's been supporting the channel, hitting like, subscribing, and commenting down below because it helps. It helps, guys. So thank you, I appreciate you. Here they are, guys, the Morelia Neo 3 Japan. In my 7.5, this amazing colorway, guys. Look at this. Are you kidding me? My word. It looks so good in this white leather color. Oh man. Look at the way it just reflects. It's just outstanding. These things are beautiful. I wear 7.5 across all my cleats. You guys know that. Now, whether or not they fit well or not, I always get 7.5. I've never owned a pair of Mizunos, and I've heard that they fit a quarter long. So, I may order another pair in 7s just to get a really good feel for a pair in 7.5 and a pair of 7. I've never worn cleats in 7. Never done that with Adidas or Nike. If they never fit in 7.5, I just gave up. But since they're like leather in that toe box area and like the synthetic leather in that midfoot area, I figured because of the price and I really want to try them and wear them really, really bad, that I've just got a second pair. I ordered them from Dick's Sporting Goods. They should be here in a little bit. But these are the 7.5s. I ordered another pair in 7. They'll be coming around Saturday. And I'll stay tuned with you guys, give you guys an update on these cleats and whether or not, you know, it's worth sizing down like everybody says. I just want to let you guys know that the leather is super, super plush and soft. Oh my gosh, it's literally like a glove. I don't know how Mizuno does this, but wow, they're beautiful too. With the logo, Mizuno logo, flashing like that, looking all clean. I know it'll probably rub away eventually, but it's very like flashy, and it just, when the light hits it, just glimmers so nicely that I fell in love with this colorway. Like I said, the toe area is just so comfy, and there is a heel liner to it. Super nice. There's like some pods that comfort your Achilles, and the really good thing is that Mizuno includes an additional, you guys can see, additional hole right there. So that way you can tighten up your laces a little tighter. So if they do stretch, when they will stretch, because they will probably stretch a little bit, you can tighten them a little bit more. And that'll just give you a lot more customization in regards to how this boot feels. Another really good add-on about this cleat is that the laces go pretty deep down this lacing system. So that's really nice because they'll give you that customizability to loosen certain parts of your cleats and then tighten certain segments of your cleats. Now let's put them on and I'll let you guys know what I think. Walking around my house, and these studs are so comfortable, guys. I love them. It's comfy. Woo! Look at them. Look at them. They look sick, don't they? They look sick. Woohoo! Damn. It's crazy, guys. I'm telling you, in hand and also on feet, These cleats are so light. It's crazy. I don't know how they did it, but obviously I think they could work on the lightness a little bit more, make them like Adizero like light, you know, back then in the day when it had the Adizeros and leather, and those were like super extremely light, but this is really close. This reminds me a lot of those cleats. It's really comfortable. While I'm walking around here on my carpet, babe, I hope you're not watching, but obviously guys, this is what I'm talking about. Really deep lacing system here. And obviously that third hole that they add at the end there, or that second hole that they add, is just awesome because you can put your laces all the way up here. It really locks in your ankle and make sure there's no extra material. For me, when I laced it up to this second hole, I just thought it was too tight. Just pushed back my heel way too much into the material, where it was just like, just didn't feel breathable, and my foot just didn't feel super comfortable. So I ended up opting for just the first hole right there, and I thought that was a great fit. Now, it's super neat because deep lacing system, it's so awesome that you get to kind of loosen up one segment and then tighten up another segment, and I really like that. I think that's super cool that the lacing system is just so deep in the cleat that allows you to do that customization, because I think these are going to be really good. They say they're narrow, but I think they can fit all types of foot types because of how deep this system is. Let me talk about my one gripe with the cleat, and then I'll tell you guys like my overall impressions. I mean, they look beautiful though, I gotta say. And of course, I'm wearing my regular Adidas socks, non-grip socks, but let's talk about some other gripes that I have here. For my gripe, I think it's interesting. You could definitely tell, like my left foot is bigger than my right, so it fills in more of this like section here. So I feel really comfortable in my left here, and you guys can tell like my toe is right here, and that's pretty much where I like to have my cleats. Personally speaking, I really like my cleats super tight. And I like to have this like pinky toe pressing against the material, and then have all the other pinky toes like start pressing along the side of here so that it really starts filling in, and obviously having my toe right here. So what I'm ultimately saying is my left foot, I would be really satisfied with the overall fit. Now my right foot is more narrow and skinnier than my left. So that is where I'm having a little bit of, Adizero like issues. If you guys remember my last Adizero review, I was wearing those leather remakes that they made, and I had the same exact issue, and this is reminding me of that issue where this foot, my right foot's narrow. So I'm getting that pinky touch right here, but I'm losing the touch on the lateral side here where my toes aren't really touching against this material. So here, like my pinky toes touching against the material, this one's barely touching the material, and then this one absolutely not touching the material. This one's not touching the material. This guy's not really touching the material, and then obviously my big toe, which is like totally fine. So I'm losing a lot of that comfort that I like, or that structure of the boot here on that lateral side, if that makes sense. Like I said, all my toes are kind of touching alongside this side of the boot. And remember, this is just my preference, but I really like to have a lot of my toes like pressing against the material so that I can get that one-on-one feeling with the ball. It's just the way I am. I like my Vapors, like, you know what it is. Like, I just like Vapors. I like tight fitting cleats. And I'd rather have my toes, like, instead of my toes feeling like this, my toes feel like this on my right foot. And on my left foot, they feel like this. So on my left foot, they feel like this. They're like contact. There's a squeeze on the material, and they feel like spot on, like I'd be pretty satisfied. But on my right, they feel like they're kind of like this, like they're kind of squeezing in, but
Not really. They kind of have like that wiggle room, but nothing like crazy. It's not like I can go like this. Like in the Phantoms, I can go like this. The GXs, I can pretty much go like that. But in these, I feel like I'm like kind of like this. And I want to have that squeeze, that like one-on-one feeling with the boot. And obviously with them being leather, they might ultimately stretch. I'm not saying they're going to be stretching like extremely to the point, because they'll probably start stretching on the hot points where you're getting a lot of pressing against the material. But I'd rather take the risk of having something a little bit smaller where I'm getting that full contact against my toes, even if my toes are like slightly, like ever so slightly curled, you know, instead of being like 100% flat, my cleats can just fit and have my toes a little bit curled. I'd rather have that so that when they break in, the material will just soften up and let my toes really spread and get that one-on-one contact still without losing that structure. Because right now, my right one just feels like my toes are kind of just like, they're hanging out, they're having fun, but it's not like a full, like I'm locked in and ready to flip and go.
I hope that made sense. I know it's really hard to explain what I'm trying to explain, but in other words, I really, really like how the cleats are just molded to your foot, but I just wish that they were a little bit tighter. I wish that the toe box area was just ever so tighter to just give you that like really one-on-one tactile feel. If they came like that, then I feel like they would definitely stretch to a point where you would be going like, whoa, these feel perfect now. Because I'd rather have a boot, you know, stretch into that perfect form rather than overstretch already and then leave you with wiggle rooms around the toe box area. It's just the way that I am. I know a lot of people, I would definitely say, if you are somebody that already has that extra space in your boots, then I would definitely recommend sizing down. And then of course, if you're somebody like me that has like that tactile, like really tight cleat feel and you like that, then it's gonna be a little bit trickier for us people. It's gonna be tricky to find like that happy medium between something that's too tight and then your toes are like really curling, or something like this that your toes might feel almost perfect but not exactly like the perfect glove feeling that you're used to. And that's what I'm gonna experiment with. So I bit the bullet and ordered a pair of 7s. Once again, these are 7.5s, but I have a pair in 7 coming. I'm kind of nervous because, you know, they're just so expensive. And then on top of that, I wish I could just break them in and just be like, no, they don't fit. They're not working. I could return them. But I don't know if Dick's Sporting Goods policy is like good enough for you to like actually go kick the ball around and break them in and then just be like, no, they don't fit. So what I'm ultimately gonna do is keep the cleats probably for like 2 weeks and just walk around the house, wear them like non-stop. I remember yesterday when I put them on, my cleats felt really tight, the 7.5s on like that midfoot area. And now that I've been walking around the house with them on, it definitely stretched out and like already started molding. That was only me wearing them for like 30 minutes around the house, so I was kind of like freaking out deciding whether or not I wanted to keep them. And then it was like hitting midnight, I was like, I'm ordering the 7s. I want to like these cleats, I really do.